play right, cause they can't miss. All about the game, that's a cold switch. Serving up the truth, call it ruthless. Tune in and get your fix from Blake and Vish Sports.
And I mean, you kind of mentioned it already, but 49ers did not look strong against the Seahawks, down 28-13. Offense couldn't get it going. Defense looked really good in the first half, allowed some points in the second half, but I'd say overall it looked like it seemed to me like the defense was really solid for the 49ers. But we got a little bit of a taste of Trey Lance in the second half for the full half. Jimmy got injured. It's a calf bruise, I want to say, is the official term. Official injury, but it seems kind of up in the air what exactly that means and all that and how long he'll be out. So still just kind of unknown variable there with Jimmy G. But what did you think of Lance? And do you think he did enough, improved enough to show that he deserves to start moving forward for the 2-2 49ers?
So, obviously, it's still up in the air, right? And there's a good chance if Jimmy G's calf contusion, as they called it, is good to go, that he's starting on Sunday. But I think there's two things you have to point out before you have this conversation. First things first, it's really difficult to judge Trey Lance based on Sunday. He was thrown into the middle of a division game when it was 7-7 at half, without the team really having a plan for what they wanted to do to play him. And so it's really difficult to really judge and get an opinion of what we saw, because I would like to see one game where, they go through the entire process of game planning with him the entire week and have a plan and see how he does executing that plan. Number two, and I think this is also important to mention, the Niners offense is putrid. It is not good. They have not been good through 4 weeks. Outside of one great half versus Detroit, they've struggled. And it's not like they've struggled against great defenses. Philly's defense, I think Dallas and Kansas City proved that Philly's defense is not this elite, vaunted, staunch defense that, you just have to throw screens up and down to move the ball. If you have a good quarterback, and the Niners do have weapons, Deebo Samuel and George Kittle are two guys where if you have two weapons like that and a left tackle like Trent Williams, you should be a little better on offense than they are. That's one. And so they're not a very good offense right now. There's no other way to say it. And it's not really all Jimmy Garoppolo's fault, honestly. To me, Jimmy Garoppolo has played very, very average football, which is what he is. He's played up to what he played in 2019 when the Niners won 13 games. It's just that they've not been as good around him in terms of how they've run the football, and they've not played defense at that level, though their defense has been very good. So those are the two things I think first you need to mention. So should Trey Lance start moving forward? I think you and I were on the wave that Trey Lance should start week one. We didn't feel that the 49ers were a Super Bowl team with Jimmy Garoppolo under center before week one. That's why we felt that Trey Lance should start and they should just grow and see how far they can go. I think we actually had this conversation in like July where we said that it's better to go, 8-9 or 9-8 with Trey Lance than it is to go 10-7 with Garoppolo, because really the roster is going to be turned over in 2022. And the question is, how much can you get better around Trey Lance in 2022? In terms of Trey Lance's start or play, I don't think that his play showed you that, he should 100% start over Garoppolo. I think his play made me feel comfortable thinking that if he started, you would go through a lot of ups and downs. I was making a joke on Grant's show, like everybody calls it growing pains that you're going to have to go through with Trey Lance, but as a Niners fan, I'm going through grown pains with Jimmy Garoppolo every week. So I don't know what else to say, but I do think they have to go with Trey Lance. There was a lot of rawness. There was definitely, he didn't play a perfect game from the pocket. He didn't always, he felt phantom, especially early. When he started, that third quarter was real ugly. He settled into the game and played a lot better in that fourth quarter. That third quarter was ugly. You look at the miss to Kittle in the flat on the bootleg, that threw that straight into the ground. That was disgusting. You can't miss that throw. He felt phantom pressure a couple times and just ran out of the pocket when there were receivers there in the progression. You just got to step up and let it rip. That was not the best. And then, of course, the touchdown throw to Deebo Samuel. I'm glad he made the throw. And I was joking about it on Twitter, saying, since he was the one who made the throw, he's the only quarterback who can make that throw. But every quarterback in the NFL can make that throw because it was a 30-yard throw, was busted coverage. He didn't even Deebo just stopped, waited, and he threw the ball. He caught it, and Deebo ran for the touchdown. Really nice play, though, for him to throw it to him. No doubt about it. But then you got to the fourth quarter and you saw that he started getting better and he started adapting to his surroundings and playing better. He started feeling pressure better. He showed his athleticism. I mean, he had an ugly play where he, on 3rd and 8, he ran for what could have been a first down, and he dived 2 yards short of the first down. So he had a lot of really bad plays mixed in there where it was like, what are you doing? And then he settled in. And then, 4th and 2, he's got Carlos Dunlap in his face. The where he wants to go with the ball to the flat is taken away. He makes Carlos Dunlap miss, and he throws a nice ball to Deebo and gets a first down. He threw a nice ball in rhythm on time to Mo Sanu on 4th and 5. He had a couple of really nice runs that showed great agility. He did a really good job escaping pressure a couple of times. And that fourth quarter made me think, well, okay, this offense isn't very good. Garoppolo only executes 75%, 80% of this offense anyway. And Lance, obviously, even though he wasn't executing at a high level, it wasn't like he was, especially in the fourth quarter, he was executing in a way that you should be in any means like just worried where he can't do anything. If you game plan for him for a week and whatever, you can protect him a lot better. And then the athleticism looked real. He looked real explosive moving around, and he looked agile at his height and weight too with his speed. So to me, I think they're better off going through those growing pains with him this year because I think they'll just help them in the long run, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm more or less on the same side. I think there's, at least from what I've gathered with Niners Twitter, Niners media, Niners fans, there's kind of like three layers to this. One, start Trey now, cut Jimmy, or just, don't care, just get Trey. Other people is kind of like Jimmy should start, let Trey sit on the bench. And the other side's, the middle is just like, I don't know what to think of this. Like, you guys are both crazy extremists on both sides. I'm more on the side of the Trey Lance, similar to you. Like, just get him in. You might as well play him at this point. You traded up a lot to get him. Let's see what he has. And I think you mentioned it. Third quarter, I don't want to be like mean or anything, or be too blunt, but I just didn't think he looked great. He looked really, really raw. It seemed like any time there was an even bit of pressure, he was just, his head was down and he would either run or try to escape the pocket, which is usually not what you're supposed to do. You want to keep your eyes down the field and all of that. So that was worrying. I think you mentioned his athleticism looked real. It definitely did. I thought the 4th and 10 run in the fourth quarter, or it was 4th and long, right? He ran it and picked up the first downs through scrambling, which you just don't get that element with Jimmy G. And that is something that I think it opens up doors that you would not have otherwise. And if you're already going to have issues with Jimmy, like you mentioned, there's misses on throws. Well, Lance is going to miss throws too. He bombed that one slant route, I want to say to either Deebo or Sanu. He bombed that. He threw the ball to Kittle. So he's going to miss throws. Jimmy misses throws too, though. And I don't think that is an unfair take at this point. You mentioned growing pains with Jimmy. Well, that still exists, and that will exist. With Trey Lance, though, you'll have pains, right? You'll have the moments where he maybe ducks his head down too low and tries to run early, or sails a pass because he has a rocket arm, or doesn't throw with touch, and someone has to make a tough catch. But with all those issues, you have the ability to put pressure on defense with running, with the read option, with scrambling, that you just don't have with Jimmy. And I think now, I don't know how long Trent Williams is out, but the O-line is –
he's day-to-day.
Day-to-day, okay. Well, that's still concerning. And the O-line pass protection, the right guard specifically, I don't think Brunskill's pass protection has been the best. You could tell me if I'm wrong there. And then McGlinchey's pass protection has always been sort of his biggest downfall.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that again. So having a guy that's more mobile will also in ways help with that, and being able to, kind of dodge people or just run around, kind of evade the pass rush. So I think all those combined, when you have Trey Lance, I'm putting him over Jimmy. And then the final point, which I think sums it up, is they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. It's just not going to happen. you either have to have a really, really good offense and a good defense, or a great defense and a really, really good offense. I don't think they have a great either. I don't think they have a good either. I'd say
I
they
mean,
have a
we
good
saw.
defense. They have
No,
a good
let's be honest. They have a really good defense, actually. But we
They
saw
do.
that this defense is no longer good enough to carry them against great quarterbacks. And we saw the last two games. They lost to a great Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers and a great Hall of Fame quarterback in Russell Wilson. And why? It was because their offense couldn't do anything against a defense in Green Bay that really, I mean, the
They're
stats
not
in
that
Green Bay are
good.
looking a lot better now after playing the Niners offense and the Steelers offense, two bad offenses. But it wasn't looking too good when they played the Lions. It definitely didn't look good against Jameis Winston and the Saints week one. It looked like they had a lot of issues on defense. And then you look at the same thing. Seattle was historically bad through 3 weeks. They come in, they play the Niners offense, and the Niners offense, while they were kicking their butts for the first part of their game, they had only 7 points to show, and the Niners defense had 5 straight 3-and-outs against Russell Wilson. And then eventually the Niners offense also began to struggle to make things happen. So there's no doubt about it that this offense, it's just not at the level where this defense is no longer at the level where it can just single-handedly take this team over the top when you're playing a Russell Wilson and an Aaron Rodgers, where they just suffocate that quarterback. And this offense is just not playing well. It's not a good offense at this moment.
No, it's not. And I think that's something that I'm honestly shocked at, because I think we're both pretty big Shanahan fans, think he's a really good play caller and all of that. They have Ayuk, who looked great last year. Debo is back and healthy. He's leading the league in receiving yards. Kittle's been a little bit banged up, but he's still better than not having him. So it's just shocking that their offense has been as inept or just not as strong and powerful as we would have hoped. And they upgraded. They brought Alex Mack in. They drafted an O-lineman in the second, drafted a running back in the third. I know their running back room is really hurting right now, but still, I think it is a surprise to both you and I that their offense has looked as not good as we thought it would be.
Yeah, we thought, maybe Shanahan could just cook it up no matter what. I mean, he's kind of still cooking it up, but it's definitely not just open receivers everywhere running up and down the field. And a lot of it is because they just haven't been able to get the run game going consistently.
Yeah.
But I mean, the loss of Raheem Mostert hurts, but it it shouldn't be this difficult for them to run the football, definitely. But yeah, this offense, it's not very good at this moment. There's no doubt about it, and it's a little bit shocking, but it's just the reality. Brandon Ayuk has 6 catches this season. We thought he looked very good as a rookie. He's just not gotten involved. This offense, and George Kittle's hurt. I mean, I know he's still going to play through the injury, but you can see that it's clearly slowing him down. He's essentially just playing on one leg. This offense really at this moment is just Debo or bust. Debo is their best option in the run game and the pass game. Though Trey Sermon looked promising on Sunday, he looked exactly like the running back I thought they were drafting, though I questioned the trade up, which again leads me to wonder how Elijah Mitchell was playing over him in the first place. But that's a topic for another day.
Definitely. So basically, to wrap it up, Vish and I are saying start Trey Lance. They can't win the Super Bowl this year, although the faithful want them to. Get Trey Lance the reps now, so that way in 2022, 2023, when
He's maybe
certified,
Kyler Murray then.
Maybe Josh Allen. That's who people wanted. That was a popular comparison for him in the offseason. But we can move on now.